Hello and welcome to another edition of Business Weekly on City TV with me, Pius Amihere Eduku. Coming up in this edition, government assures workers of ECG of no job losses as it renegotiates the Power Compact agreement with the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Also, latest figures from the Ghana Statistical Service reveal that Ghana's economy grew by 3.5% in 2016. Details of these plus other business stories coming up in this edition. In our first story, government has assured workers of ECG that there will be no job losses even as it renegotiates the Power Compact deal with the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia confirmed the renegotiation to the head of business desk at City FM Vivian Kai Loko in Washington. Under the Power Compact 2 agreement, government is to allow private sector participation in the ECG for the country to benefit from a cash injection of about $500 million. In a related development, President Akufo-Addo has assured that his government will not allow independent power producers to rip off Ghanaians with a high cost of power. He explains that though government is open to private participation in the energy sector, it is determined to do so within reasonable price charges. The president made the remarks when he cut the sword for the commencement of construction of the 400-megawatt Bridge Power Project, which is the world's largest LPG-fired power plant, on Thursday. Let's still stay with the energy sector, and the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) has disclosed to City Business News that government loses an annual amount of 850 million cedis to illegal importers and exporters of fuel. According to the NPA, the act involves operators who ply their businesses at the ports by fueling tanks with fuel products brought into the country via unapproved route. Another also involves businesses who apply under the pretext of exporting fuel products but end up selling the product in the country. The CEO of the NPA, Hassan Tampoli, who confirmed this to City Business News, said no vessel is going to be allowed to discharge petroleum products at the Tema Port main harbour, fishing harbour, or the dry dock. We now take you to the banking industry, where the Bank of Ghana has cancelled the auctioning of dollars to commercial banks. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, explains that the move will, among others, help grow the interbank exchange market. A senior research fellow at the IFS, Dr. Said Boache, has since lauded the move. He explains to City Business News that the dollar auctioning wasn't a sustainable means of arresting the city's free fall. In a related development, the Bank of Ghana is expected to soon announce a decision on the recapitalization of banks in the country. City Business News understands the banks have already submitted their report for assessment. Also this week, the Bank of Ghana appeared before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee to respond to questions on the 2015 statement of foreign exchange receipts and payment report. Now, it emerged that the central bank had failed to account for proceeds from bauxite exported in 2015. But the Bank of Ghana has since reacted to the questioning. It explains that the proceeds were already accounted for in the report. The central bank was compelled to provide the information after the MP for Efutu, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, maintained that the proceeds were not captured in the report. Also this week, the Ghana Statistical Service revealed that Ghana's economy grew by 3.5% in 2016 compared to 3.9% in 2015. The country's GDP for 2016 was estimated at 36 billion cedis. The services sector still topped with 57% of GDP growth, followed by industry and agri with 24 and 19% respectively. Meanwhile, the producer price inflation for March 2017 was 6%. The mining and quarrying subsector recorded the highest inflation of 20.8%. It was followed by manufacturing with 4% and utilities with 1.5%. We end with some news from the mining sector, where a survey has revealed that Ghana will lose about 1.4 million cedis to restore lands and vegetation affected by galamsey activities in some 11 districts in the western region. This also follows the recent crackdown by the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry on illegal miners across the country. Lead researcher Jones Mante also tells City Business News the restoration cost could escalate in areas with grave concern. Meanwhile, City FM has intensified its Stop Galamsey Now campaign with emphasis on how the illegal activities is impacting on water bodies across the country. On that note, we end this week's edition of Business Weekly on City TV. For more business stories, log on to citybusinessnews.com. I am Pius Amihere Eduku. See you next week.